Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Discriminating Gamer. Say, if anyone ever asks you to spell part backwards, don't do it! Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at Gettysburg Solitaire, the board game from Worthington Publishing. Gettysburg Solitaire, the board game from Worthington Publishing, is essentially a riff on the earlier book war game Gettysburg Solitaire, which I have reviewed on the channel. Now, you've got a game board that is a map of Gettysburg on day 1 and day 2 of the battle. You'll also have a board that will tell you what your actions are on the appropriate day and also what the Union responses will be on the appropriate day. You'll have a number of counters, a number of markers that will be the names of the generals that you will also be using on each day, either brown for day 1 or gray for day 2. Now, again, this plays just like the book war game. Essentially, on your turn, you activate one of your commanders. You have different choices of who is going to attack who. The various units you have on the board, they kind of have pre-selected targets. They can choose one of a couple of targets on the board. You can also have some off-map artillery. And you're rolling the dice and you're consulting a chart. Now, you want to roll low. If you roll a 1, you can actually do damage to the enemy. Pretty much a 2 through 4, you're both going to take damage. A 5, the attacker will take a little damage. And 6, you'll take a lot of damage, 2 damage. And you're just removing the counters from the board here. But before you actually can do your attack, you just select your target, you actually roll for the bot, the Union bot. And then the Union bot may do all sorts of things. There's even a tactics thing. You roll on again to find out exactly what the event, the tactics are. And so you have a lot of different possible attacks that may go on, or they may give certain formations kind of a +1 to their defense. So there's a lot of different things that may play out here. On day 1, you have, is it Steinwehr, and he's got some fortifications that may increase, and you want to try to take him out too. But you go ahead, you do the event or the bot action, and then you go ahead and you roll your attack. And then again, depending on that formula, that dice formula, you'll see whether they take hits, you both take hits, or just you take hits. And in this way, you're going back and forth every round. Now, critically, when you're activating generals on the board, you can never activate the same general twice in a row. And if ever you run out of counters for a specific general, you can bring in Lee or Longstreet, and you can use them to activate those specific generals. There's also a coordinated attack. You can play the coordinated attack. You get 3 of them in a battle. You can play the coordinated attack icon on the board, token on the board, and then you can actually take 2 generals that are adjacent to each other and place them to essentially designate one as your primary, who will get a +1 advantage, or a -1 advantage on their attack. So you do that every round. You essentially activate your general, you roll for the bot, you resolve the bot's action, then you roll for your attack, you resolve your attack, and then you move forward to the next round. So in this way, you keep doing it over and over again. There's a number of turns, and by the end of the turn, you want to complete your objectives. Now, generally speaking, you want to destroy your enemy formations before they can destroy your formations. Depending on the day, that will give you a number of formations you need to destroy. And if you can succeed in meeting your objectives, then you win! Gettysburg Solitaire.
We'll get back to the review in just a moment. I want to take a minute to ask you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about history, books on history, military history. I even post some of my lectures for my classes on there. Please check that out. Please subscribe to that channel. And now, back to the review.
All right, so I played this a while back as the book War Game, and I really enjoyed the book War Games from Worthington. But it's kind of fun when a little while later they actually come out with a boxed board game edition. We saw this with Sink the Bismarck, which is a great game, and Waterloo Solitaire, which was a great game. So it's fun when they do that. Now, right off the bat, I noticed something a little bit different about the production of this game. Usually, with these Worthington Solitaire games, they have blocks. They have little wooden blocks that represent the different formations on the board and the different, strength of the formation. And I always really like that. That's something I look forward to. This game does not have the wooden blocks. It has cardboard counters. Now, it's not a big deal. I like the artwork. It's just a simple Union and Confederate formation with a flag on it. It's fine. But I like it. It worked for me. I would have preferred the wooden cubes, but I didn't worry too much. I like that. I imagine there's probably some kind of a cost and price reason for that. But in any event, it was fine. I prefer the wood, but I really didn't miss it in this game. Also, too, the tray, they usually have a pretty standard kind of tray they use in these games. And this game did not have that kind of standard tray that we have seen. Now, all told here, I really enjoyed this one. I liked the book game a lot, and I like the board game version of it a lot, too. This is a really fun, interactive game that is not hard to learn, not hard to play. I mean, honestly, you can play a game in 20, 30 minutes. They are super quick, but they tell great stories. These solitaire games just tell these wonderful stories of the battle. And, it's very luck heavy. I mean, obviously, the die rolls are all over the place. And so there's a lot of luck. But it's fun to see within that short amount of time that story play out. Now, if this game were over an hour, if I was playing a game like this and it was an hour, hour and a half or something, I probably wouldn't like it. I think it was too luck heavy. But where it's only about 20 to 30 minutes, it's really a lot of fun. I've won this game, I've lost this game. It can go either way. But you always feel like you've got these important choices about where you are attacking, or if you want to make that coordinated attack, or if you want to bring in Lee and Longstreet to help you out with a formation you need to get moving again. So there's a lot here to like, a lot here to love. Now, if you already have the book game, I mean, I don't know that you need the boxed game unless you prefer playing with it. And I will say this, I think all things being equal, I still prefer the Waterloo game, which is a very similar kind of play here. But I don't know, I like the Waterloo game. In the Waterloo game, you can play Wellington or Napoleon, which I like. And that's one of the things I didn't like about the book game and this version of the game. And I say I didn't like it. It's not a huge problem. I would have liked the option to have played the Union and be able to go back and forth. That would have been fun. In this game, you're just the Confederacy. And there is another point, too, I'd like to make. The game board has the Confederate units kind of with their names facing you, or more or less facing you, and the Unions, the names are facing away from you. Where it is a solitaire game, I think all of the names should be facing you. It's just easier. It's not like you're going to lose track easily or anything as it is, but it just, I prefer to be able to see where everything is like that in a solitaire game. So that was a minor gripe. I enjoyed this game. It's a lot of fun. If this is something you're looking into, you want a quick, fun solitaire game with a lot of dice rolls, you'll check this out. I think you'll really appreciate it. On the Cody scale, I'm going to go ahead and give this a 7 out of 10. It is a lot of fun. Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we'd ask you to please leave a comment for us here on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our various social media. And we would ask you please to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, if you do like what you see here, I would ask you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about history, military history, books on history, fun things like that. I even post some of my lectures up there. It would mean the world to me if you would subscribe to that channel as well. And of course, if you do like what you see here, I would humbly ask you to click on the Super Thanks button and leave a tip. I just got myself a pet termite. I named him Clint. Clint eats wood.